Microphone on. All right. Let's check the feed. Up yet? Not seeing it. Go home. Count. History. Your videos. Live. There we go. History. Your videos. Okay. There we go. Okay, we are live when we have audio. So, this is channel Morocco PDX. My name is Tony. I decided that I'm going to stream this because I've been meaning for a while to stream some videos that just sort of have a bit of a welcome to new players into Warframe, with a mix of some kind of waxing nostalgic of kind of where Warframe has been. So I'm going to just kind of start with the quest line and go in here and get going. So first off, I started Warframe probably...
You've slept.
That is hard to talk over. I started Warframe probably back in around 2013, but I was aware of it way back when it was announced before launch, because I had played Dark Sector. There's even a chance I played some of the pinball games back when they first started in the 90s, but I can't prove that. But I definitely played the Unreal Tournament games that Digital Extremes was involved with. Dark Sector, when it came out, was like, what, around 2006-ish? And then just kind of fell off the map, and then eventually saw probably, I don't remember what first, if I saw the news broadcast of the Dark Sector concept video back in was that 03, 04, or if I saw the Game Informer magazine article about it. That's the one back before the PlayStation release of Dark Sector. Back when the game looked a lot more like what the Warframe we have now is. You can look at concept art from that, and you can just definitely see the roots of Warframe in there. Some minky art that just has straight up Excalibur. Frost was a plant boss. Just all these interesting things. If you go further back, before that development, the game was more of a spiritual successor to Unreal Tournament, and was planned to be kind of like a multiplayer bounty hunting space game, which is still an intriguing idea. But they ended up having to pivot because no studio would pick them up, and you ended up with the Dark Sector that we got, which is kind of a mixed bag. Still some stuff to love in there, but it was tough on the Digital Extremes team. So while we're here, just to get things moving, so a couple things to note when you're starting. Basically now, with the balance of the new starting characters, there's kind of no bad choice. So when you pick, it really is going to come down to just kind of your personal preference. If you like, a Warframe with a little bit more power focus, although keep in mind, you're only going to have your first power unlocked at the beginning. So it's kind of, but I would say, yeah, Mag's a little bit more power focused in general. Same with Bolt. Cast your frames if you like, while Excalibur is going to tend to focus more on his melee. He gets some bonus damage with his sword attacks, etc. And you can kind of play with default starting colors here. A lot of these are huge beneficial improvements, but I watch an embarrassing amount of people on their first plays, and they miss so much of this stuff. And it's worth just taking a minute to kind of like pay attention to what they're showing you. Back in the day, even before I started, the intro was very streamlined in the sense that there just wasn't much to it. You kind of just jumped right into it, and later you had kind of like a Metal Gear Solid-esque VR kind of thing that would introduce you to the basics. I can't even remember how my actual original intro to the game was when I finally got it. Somewhere around 2012.
We are taking this one with us.
I got it like
What
maybe
has he
3
done
months
to
after
you?
the PlayStation 3
I
launched.
can't lose another Tenno. I'm surging your Warframe's power systems.
It might have had a version
Quick,
of the
use
early
your
war
power. Defend
mission
yourself.
here, in which a similar intro where you are in a room like this and you drop out of a pod happens. The whole Vor's price thing might have been available when I started then. I'd have to do some research to kind of figure out what was the release version at the time, and I probably could narrow it down, but I haven't done that.
An extraction ship is waiting for you. But the Grineer will be hunting you. Arm yourself.
So, a lot of people just kind of like run around and explore everything, and you know, you're of course free to do that. It's pretty, but this tutorial really is about just kind of, you know, go to A to B, follow the instructions, learn how to play the game, and this will sound very pedantic, but I mean, like, read what it's telling you to do. I'm sure you're distracted with like the visuals and controlling the Warframe, and it's all new. But, you know, go ahead and take a beat and just look at what it's telling you to do. And it'll answer the question most of the time. It's, you know, here's the other thing. You're taking on level 1 enemies in the tutorial. They are ridiculously easy. By the way, you're going to end up with the ability to get all of these tutorial weapons later. Both of these weapons are great. The bow is maybe a better edge-out weapon, from what I've heard, but, I mean, it's kind of like whatever. I need to remember you can just hold the button. That's kind of newish for me. And you got tons of acrobatic capabilities. Can I actually do them all right now? I can. Well, that's cool. Oh, couldn't reach. So yeah, it's nice to jump. It's like a double jump. Good stuff. Can I kill him? Yeah, they picked that out. Good for them. Other thoughts? Yeah, I mean, again, if you're kind of paying attention, it's telling you what to do. Most people manage to figure out how to handle the interactive crates and whatnot, so that's not such a big deal from what I noticed. A lot of it's just not slowing down enough to kind of catch the prompts. Like, they'll usually have already maybe happened upon this by accident.
There's a cache of weapons ahead. Grab what you can.
Good stealth kill opportunity there that most people miss. They will give you one more. Oh, I did want to mention. Okay, so back in the day, they really only had a few of the tile sets, which I'll quickly explain. Are the maps are broken up into sections that are able to jigsaw together and are randomly assembled, and that allowed them to really kind of stretch out the gameplay. But there were only a couple of them, and so the environmental storytelling that was done with them was admirable but limited. along with like how much they could afford in terms of like how much story to express through, radio transmissions and cutscenes, etc. So they always mentioned that there were colonists, but for years you never saw them. And one of the cool things after Cetus was, which is a location on Earth, you would actually get to meet some of the colonists. And here you're seeing the enemy, which you had been spending years just slaughtering. And you're seeing kind of the results of why they are villains. So you can see the slaughter here of
pick up a weapon. You are running out of time.
I forgot the name of these people, but the people from Cetus. Sorry, Space Mom's getting impatient with me. So yeah. I mean, you could straight up run up on this guy, he's so oblivious, but they're just straight up like, dude, stealth this guy. So you can go quiet. We're already in a kind of scripted full alert mode, so there's not going to really be an opportunity for stealth kills that much, but you do get experience bonus, which they call affinity in this game. I'm just going to go loud, because why not? I mean, they literally just spawn them in already full alert, which is fine. I mean, the whole place is on fire, right? But hey, let's look at this, though. I mean, where was the... Yeah, look, I mean, just the wreckage going on here that the Grineer are applying on these people. This stuff was always just, maybe mentioned. But you really couldn't see it firsthand like this. And this is a huge thing. To me, in my opinion, in terms of kind of world building in a way that you only could really have in your head, world state level, headcanon kind of level stuff.
The extraction point is up ahead.
So I'm glad that they were able to put
finds
this
out
in.
you've escaped.
I mean, burning villages, man. Some imperialistic stuff. At this point, I mean, your character here knows about as much as you do. They woke up in an, kind of amnesiac state. So, that's fine. Just roll with it. I'll also say it again, because the enemy are so low level, you honestly feel like you're almost at an endgame build level here. I mean, you're not able to express your powers the same way. Oh, that's another thing I want to point out. Often people will keep sticking to this power, not realizing how to really kind of like switch between their weapons, which you can totally do at any point. And then they'll kind of like exhaust their energy, and it's sitting there telling you, you're out. But it takes them quite a while to figure this out, and it's just something to kind of know ahead of time. You have a resource energy, kind of a mana pool, if you will. The enemy or the crates will drop blue orbs, that's energy, red orbs is health. Upper right, you got your shields on the left in blue, red is the health. Down at the bottom, that 0, that's where the energy would be, and it shows your powers. It shows kind of highlighted as the last active power. Also, it's the only available power with the level you're currently at. So, good stuff. Alright. Moving on. We got some parkour, I imagine. Yeah, here we go. Whoop. Wants me to bullet jump, so hold L1, tap X. I mean, again, people just double jump past these things. Sometimes they don't even ever get around to figuring this out. Another thing, the loot, especially in the tutorial, not a big deal. Just here to get your experience of it. Right. Talk about chaining it.
Salvage team, why have you not reported in?
We made it. There's the extraction chip.
For the longest time, this had an old asset of the Lisette that actually existed going all the way back to pre-Dark Sector, like early Dark Sector demo level stuff. And it was such a low polygon model. It looked really bad, and I was glad they finally got around to updating that. Teleport?
My decrepit heart is pounding. This one is stronger than the rest. Lock the area down. This tender is mine.
Yeah, so...
Get to the console and release the lockdown. Do that, and I will guide you to your old ship. It's your only chance.
Where was I going with that? I mean, that's just a cute little thing that they finally updated. But it's also neat that the Lisette is such an old game asset from Visual Experience. They were really, like... I mean, probably originally concepted that thing somewhere around 2003. Could have been a little earlier than that. I mean, there are... you can trace the words Dark Sector, I think. I want to say into like 1999. So they were throwing around, kicking around ideas for a while, and for a long time the game engine was called the Sector engine. I want to say that's true. It's been a while since I did my research. Did a long time ago. But I'm pretty sure that it was a Sector engine for a while, and then it became the Evolution engine. Whilst Warframe was being developed, it was just called Lotus. So yeah, you know, good stuff. Well, like, just kind of academic trivia, really. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and do the bow. So you got quick fire and a charge shot. Charge shot will give you some over penetration. So here they're gonna teach you about aim gliding. You have destructibles. That's some good stuff. But like here, for example, like that would straight shoot through that. You got green for lockers. If it's red, you can't open it. More destructible crates. Good stuff. Alright, what we got? Yeah. I think there's some fall off on the bows, but they're pretty hardcore, especially on a full power draw. Oop, I missed. Oops. Yeah, good stuff. So, again, a lot of people, they get confused about picking up items. If your type of ammo is already full, or your health or shields or energy, not shields, if your health or energy is full, you won't pick up the item, and that is fine. You'll always pick up resources, that's no big deal. You do have a little bit of magnetism, but you gotta get really close to it. There are ways to mitigate that. Alright. Scary, yeah.
Stop touching me.
Apparently I had taken damage.
Are my senses deceiving me? Operator, is that you?
Enemy reinforcements are here. Ship Cephalon, we require immediate extraction.
The operator is in danger? I will need a few moments to cycle the engines.
Tenno, are you afraid? You cannot hide from these old eyes. I've marked you. You will return to me.
So, this game uses what is called a mod system, and that's going to be the primary way you're going to affect the increase in power of your Warframes. So as you go, you'll be regularly getting mod drops from mostly enemies. These are going to affect your base stats and let you scale powers and attributes of your Warframe, which I'll have to show you when we get back to the Orbiter here in a second. Which I'm going to say, normally this would take you straight into the Quest Force prize, which for some reason is not replayable. I'm going to guess it's because they just don't want experienced players mixing with these brand new players that much. That's got to be why. It's a little unfortunate, though. So here in my not vanilla Lisette, or I should say orbiter, really, the Lisette is the kind of the dropship that attaches to this greater ship. We have navigation, and that's going to let you see the solar system, which, as you can see, is large. As a new player, it's going to be quickly overwhelming. All of these nodes would be locked, except for the ones closest to you, and they are intentionally kind of pathing you to where you need to go. And what also helps with that are these junctions. So if we look at, so we have Mars, that's a spoiler, forget that. Venus. So I don't know, let's look at Venus. So Venus is going to tell you that you need to complete Boris Prize, which is great. Then
Operator,
you need to go to Cetus over here and talk to Kanzu. He's a NPC kind of quest giver, or more of a bounties, which are kind of like, I don't know, what is it in Destiny speak? Bounties are probably just bounties? I don't know. But regular missions that let you go out to the plains of Eidolon, which is the first open world on Earth, where you can do all kinds of activities. So use Fusion to rank up a mod. So Fusion is the mechanic that lets you level up these mods. So you see all these pips on these mods down there. Those all take an energy that is called Endo. Steve Sinclair, the creative director at the time, clearly didn't connect the connotation of Endo. Thought it was just a cool word, and it is. Good job. Endo drops everywhere like every other resource from all kinds of things. You'll collect it, hoover that stuff up. There are other ways to get it too. You can take excess mods or some other methods. There's these sculptures you can find in gems and turn them in to get you large amounts of Endo. Because of course, you know, the more fancy the mod, the more expensive it will be to upgrade. So once you've completed all these, look at these rewards. You're going to be given a companion, Taxon, which is a incredibly good companion. You're going to be given all of these mods. These are great mods. This one, that Dreamer's Bond mod, that's an aura mod, which is a they're just giving you this mod that you can take advantage of. The aura mods are ones that share powers with all squad members, and you can have 3 additional. So you have up to 4 people in a squad, including yourself. You're given a blueprint for a weapon. What else is in here? Some credits I saw. Orkin reactor, affectionately called a potato. So you have reactors and catalysts. And what these do is they'll double the mod capacity. How many points you have to add mods to a Warframe or weapon. Reactors go to Warframes, catalysts go to weapons. So if we go in here to upgrade, and you will see, let's go to remove, remove all, yeah, there we go. Okay, so normally you'll be presented here your first time with the blank screen, blank unmodded Warframe with all of his empty slots, and you'll see that your Warframe will have a couple, and when you start there'll probably only be 1 or 2 of these, what they call forma slots. And what that does is if you match a mod of the same type, it'll cost half the energy. So this is taking a little bit from the pool. So again, normally you'd only have a maximum of 30, but really, since your Warframe is new, you get 1 point per level, and you have 30 levels. So you have a very small pool to start with to start adding mods, which is why these are kind of nice, because they'll cut that cost in half. But also you won't have leveled up any of these mods yet, so they're not going to take up a ton of space yet. And when they start they're going to be very small percentages. So these percentages are working. Let's get a more practical mod here. So let's take redirection. So if I put redirection here, unleveled redirection, which is a mod you're going to get extremely quickly, increases shield capacity. So it's taking the base shields of the Warframe and it's now adding 9% to it. Okay, so if I have a more leveled one, this one adds 18% and 73. Here's a fully modded one, but this does a full 11 energy mod capacity. However, I can move it to the matching polarity of the fusion slot and get half the cost. Good stuff. All right. So yeah, that's basically it. So with this current build, I'm using kind of fancy mods for special gimmick effects, but I do have a vitality to pump up my health, and that is because I'm using a mod that converts damage taken. That's not the one, is it? I'm not doing that. Maybe I just wanted the health. No biggie. But there are mods you can take that, nope, this is it. 45% of damage on health without shields, or, yeah, 45% of damage on health to energy. Yep, I can read. Okay. Yes, exactly. So this is kind of like, I don't know what, like some games call that like a Reaver build or something, like a kind of like a Berserker, takes damage, gets stronger sort of thing. So it converts it into energy. That'll keep my pool up so that I can kind of keep these powers, like especially the Exalted Blade, the Energy Sword, just kind of rolling as I get hit. I'm just gonna keep trucking. Good stuff. I'll just stick with that for now. That's fine. Super duper overkill for a lot of the quests, but you know, it's fine. It's fine. You'll do fine. As long as you're taking advantage of the systems, you'll scale really quickly, but you won't run into a problem. Usually the first people start to even feel an ounce of difficulty only when they get to, say, the first Corpus tile set, which is the other faction, and it is, especially if they're pairing the wrong weapon. So like say if you have the Skana and what would be like maybe even, yeah, the bow. Excuse me. Those weapons will do fine. You'll get through it, but because they do the you got the bows, like mostly a puncture weapon, and you got the Skana, which is mostly a slash-based damage weapon. Technically speaking, the Corpus are more resistant to those damage types. Although slash is just amazing regardless, but technically they don't do as much damage. So if you had got your hands on the bow instead, and the what are the shurikens are called? Those, I don't actually, the shuriken's probably a puncture. Well, at least I'll tell you the bow. It does impact damage. The bow is just like kind of really good starter weapon now, from what I understand. But it would definitely help you. This is probably why it's recommended, is because it does just fine against the early Grineer, and it helps you with that slight escalation in difficulty against the Corpus, because it's the appropriate damage type to really kind of wreck them. So let's go a little bit further, because really early, the game's going to start throwing a ton of mods at you. And actually, let's just take a look real quick, because I think the very next junction, just gives you a bunch of them. So if we go to like Mars Junction here, this one, and let's see what it gives you. Credits, you get your Arcwing quest. It's unlocks a thing. You get the incubator, which is for getting your dog. You get a weapon. Looks like you just straight up get the Fragor, which is a hammer. Okay, this didn't give the mods I thought, but that's fine. So let's go to Venus. And then I bet you maybe here? So you get Once Awake, which introduces the third faction. You get How the Cooper to get your dog. Get a Boltor straight up. Fast Deflection Streamline. Okay, so is it then... And Mercury is an endpoint, so I don't think... Okay, so that's fine. We go back to... Is it... Okay, so is it... Yeah, okay, so, well, this gives you Fever Strike, but I swear... Is it Phobos Junction? Let's see. I really wanted to say one would give you some more of these elemental mobs. I guess maybe I'm remembering wrong. Let's take a look here. No, there's no junction for Deimos. That's fine. So, let's just... You will get them just by playing. And then there are these kind of mixed ones that give you elemental damage and status effect, which increases the chances you'll actually apply the special damage. And I should quickly explain there's kind of two types of damage that we're talking about here. So there is regular physical damage, which is your impact, slash, and puncture. And then you have status effect, which is a chance that the special effect of these types will apply. So impact has been changed. I don't even know what it does. It's probably some kind of like epic stagger. Slash causes a bleed over time. It's amazing. It's always been amazing. Even with all the changes, it remains to be awesome. And then puncture, it's probably been modified too, but it generally, oh, it's literally, it'll say right here, temporarily reduces target's damage output by up to 80%. And increases critical chance of damage taken by up to 25%. Okay, so that's the ad right there, and that's good. What we got Impact doing now? Impact causes target to flail backwards temporarily. Repeated stacks increase the size and duration of the stagger. For heavy units such as Eximus, it will also lower the Parazon Mercy kill threshold. Okay, so just quickly, the Parazon is your hacking tool, but it's also used as a sort of assassination, which can be applied. So I think, yeah, it's applied when a mercy happens, which is when you're attacking an enemy, there's just a chance they'll go into this like coup de grace state where you can just take them out with this Parazon's Assassin's Creed style kind of thing. Good stuff.
Excellent armaments, operator.
So
Please return
Covered in blood.
safe and sound.
thank you, Ordis. Okay, so I have on this build, I have elementals applied. So, and this is what I'm talking about, like the dual stack ones. So you have or dual type mod, where this one's doing elemental toxin and status chance, increasing the chance that the types of effects these damage types can do. So the toxin in the case of this mod, or impact, slash, and puncture, 25% chance. I can't remember exactly how it works, but I think it's like 25% chance, like every attack, it's like maybe rolling every type to see if one of them will apply. Or, oh god, how does it work? Because the more, so this has the majority of damage is put into slash, so how does that work? I have to look that up, but so my status chance is 41%. So every time I hit, there's a 41% chance a status effect will be applied. Which status is applied is broken up by all of the types of damage you're applying, and then is also further affected by like which ones are the higher number between them. I'll have to look up the details of how exactly that is applied. I don't remember off the top of my head, but just be aware that that's a factor. So every time I'm applying a status chance, the slash one is the most likely one that's going to be applied. I believe that roughly explains it. Sorry, I'll have to take some time to figure that one out. I'm not like, it's not my goal to like make masterful like game system mechanic tutorial videos. I just wanted to kind of get the basics out there for people. So now this has 2 elemental mods applied, so we also have cold. Now when you mix elemental mods, you can create a new damage type. So in the case of adding virulent, scourge, or toxin damage I should say, with vicious frost here, which has got cold, it creates a damage type called viral. And viral damage is really good against Grineer, for the most part. That's kind of the most outstanding one. Apparently it does really good against the Orkin. That's just so interesting. It doesn't even list the Grineer against the efficacy stats here. That's fascinating to me. But apparently it does really good against the Orkin. And it's weak against the infested, which makes sense. They basically already are virus material. The Murmur, a faction that you won't meet for a long time. Okay, that's fascinating. Okay, I'm just tell you straight up though. Unless they've literally changed it, viral is really good against Grineer. It's against their. I guess I don't know that for a fact because I haven't bothered looking in a million years to see what they did, but I'd be shocked otherwise. So what do we got here? Created by, yeah, okay. So viral increases damage to health up to 325 multiple stacks for a short duration. Yeah, pretty standard stuff. It's really good because you can get enemies with huge health pools, and cutting that stuff down is helpful. So yeah, I'll put it back though. Is this what I wanted? Sure. Okay, that's kind of the big stuff. Learning about generally how to apply a mod onto a Warframe or a weapon, which is very simple. Oh, and yes, a very important early thing is that obviously things are overwhelming, even though you'll only have a tiny fraction of mods. It will obviously be, you know, like, I don't know, man, I don't know how to look at the numbers and see what one makes the most sense to do. Fine, don't worry about it. Take your time. They have this cool, did I not, where did I do this? Was it on the Warframe? Yeah, right here. Okay. You can just here and hit your actions, whoops, which is R3 on the controller, and then you can just do auto install, and it will do a generally okay job of adding available mods to your Warframe or weapon. So that's a good, completely viable way of starting out. And you know, why not have like the little edge, even if your stuff's not leveled, whatever, who cares? Just throw the stuff on there. You can only throw on as much as your Warframe can carry, and use what you got. So sure, do it, you know, and then look at what it did, and then kind of judge for yourself. Does this make sense? Did it do a smart thing? Then good. Cool. Alright. Yeah. Let's move on to the next available quest. So, quests. Main quests. So I can't redo Vor's prize, but basically he low-jacked you, and you spend time basically just trying to, like, you know, put together some of your ship so you can access the basic features like modding and arsenal and that good stuff. You rescue an arms dealer so that you can access the market, where you can actually just straight up buy a couple weapons, and you can get blueprints for weapons with credits, which is basically a way of saying they're free. And that leads me to remember something I should mention. So progression in this game, aside from doing quests and unlocking the nodes on the star map, you have a kind of a master pool of experience called Master Rank. This gates your progression and access to various things like Warframes, I believe, and definitely weapons. So you get mastery by unlocking nodes, completing quests, and then mostly by leveling your Warframes and your weapons. Once they are leveled, this adds to this master pool. Once you've hit a level, you take a mastery rank test, which is just kind of a like a VR mission type style thing. And then once this is you've reached that level, you potentially unlock access to some higher tier equipment, or at least the ability to use it, and it's up to you to get to it. So yeah, Vor's Prize ends with you getting what you need to remove your low jack, which is like a little time bomb Vor had. You slice this sucker in half, but interestingly doesn't kill him because he's been using this void relic that he's got himself, this unique thing, which is actually what the old keys used to look like, which was part of a system on how you would get access to the whole game system, where you get the prime versions of Warframes and weapons, which are just upgraded versions of everything. They're just moderately upgraded, but again, that's all stuff you can just get in the game. It's been changed by a relic system that is a little bit different than how the old system functioned, and I'm not going to go into all of that, but good stuff. Saya's Vigil. Oof. Fine. Let's do it. So, it's kind of not excited because this is not the most amazing quest. It really could do a rework. It's just a little rough, but it does do some important things, so we'll get into that. So one of the cool things they added here is that your priority stuff just gets like placed right up here. So it's just you straight up know, and you can just go right to it. It'll take you right to what you need to, or you can just click on the location you need to go to if you can figure it out. Great addition. Something I had been begging them to do for a long time. I wanted a little bit more extensive one that would also be like, hey, look, you have unbuilt Forma or catalysts and reactors. Like, go ahead and start these up, and good little, suggested things that make sense to do. That mutant dog thing, don't worry about it. So, here's Cetus. The big old Oregon Tower over there. The people here have adapted by taking off chunks and pulling out the living meat tissue that it's built from. Got a whole industry. Good stuff. Good for them. There's like so many different things to talk about. I'll just let it kind of come as it, hits me. Whether it be systems or just trivia about the game, I don't know. But this is the first player hub, I want to say. Definitely like open world-ish player hub for sure. I think the dojos were introduced maybe before this. That's probably true. And those are just, again, player hubs. Well, sorry, the dojos are clan hubs. The relays... Is it the relays? Yes. What do they call it? We'll look at them when we get back to get the exact name. But there are these space stations, if you will. So here's Kanzu. He is a... in this case, quest giver, and he is the regular bounty giver for the plains of Eidolon. Past this gate here. Let's go talk to him. Good stuff. Saya's Vigil. That's interesting. Sure.
Look here, Tino. Have you met Saya? Lives on the outskirts of Cetus. See? Here's the three of us. Me, Anko, and headstrong Saya. We were inseparable Oots. The two of them even got married. They were happy. Until he disappeared. That was 5 years ago. Saya never moved on. Never accepted it. And now I'm hearing queer whispers. The Granier found some trace of Anko. And just like old times, Saya's about to do something rash. talk to her, eh? For counsel. Ayo, we have not spoken in a long time.
Yeah. So, I've seen a lot of players, new players, kind of experience some cognitive dissonance facing Kanzu. One, the picture, a lot of people are like, feel like is goofy, which is like, I don't know, fine. I mean, Kanzu's not a amazing artist, but whatever. What do I think about that? I don't know. It's just, yeah, I guess I can see it's jarring. I mean, you're kind of thrust into the civilian zone, and you get this kind of weird urgency to help these people all of a sudden, but you don't know why you care, I guess. And the general answer is that, you know, you should just be a good person.
Shut! No time to talk. There's word of my husband. I have to go.
Yeah.
Word travels fast. Konzu and I haven't spoken in 5 years. Not since his involvement in my husband's disappearance. And now he sends you by the Ornum. I'll accept help if you bring Onko back to me. But miss a trick, and I'll take care of business myself. Understood? Doga.
Yeah, so, I mean, there's other things. There's the strangeness of the people. This is intentional. There's the tension of the characters, and that has to do a lot with just DEs. Like, everything is a little bit into a moral gray. There's not very much in the way of black and whites in this universe. This has just been, like, a DE thing forever. Sure.
What's 5 years? I know he's still out there. I can feel it. I've petitioned those damned quills for years. They seem to have knowledge of the future when it suits them. They're the ones who told me the Grenier have uncovered something that might be Onko's research. Why not just tell me where he is? Tenno, you have to find him.
Okay. Let me see.
Daduk, Tenno. I'll signal you when you're out on the plains. As crazy as this sounds, you're looking for glass.
Am I now?
Those Krees, they spent a lot of time with Onko. Then he vanished. You tell me what it means.
Okay. Sorry, I'm just checking my stream. Make sure that it's still good to go. Looks like it is. Okay. Can't see the comments on here. So I don't know if there are any, but I'm not gonna worry about it. Only apparently one person watching, so all good. All right, what do we got? Enter the plains. Let's do it. I can't tell you what a fresh breath of air this place was when it first came out, because again, civilians were just, you know, said to be a thing, but you never really would see them. And though you can't interact too much with all this, it's just, it really lends to the sense of a living, breathing world in immersion sense, especially coming from where we were with things. So that was a good move on Digital Extreme's part. So get in here. I am marching with intention here.
All right, Tenno. Be careful out here.
Right.
Grenier numbers increase the further you venture from Cetus. Patching the Ostrons to your signal now.
My Onko is alive. I know it. No one cared more for Cetus, for our people, than he did. He worked with the Quills, the Unum's closest servants, to decipher the secrets of the sentient and the glass warrior who sacrificed herself to destroy it. If you search the camp, I know we'll find some sign of Onko.
So the great thing about the planes is just the storytelling through just the scene. I'm forgetting the words for this stuff, but you know, like just all of this begs questions. Like, what are these crazy things? What is going on? What happened? Like, these are all questions that if you're asking, well then, like, good, because you should be. And you know, the stuff will get painted in. It will. It'll happen. So, good stuff. Oh dang, I can run. I got mobilize on. He is moving quick. Oh yeah, I'm gonna wreck these guys. Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, fully leveled base Excalibur and buildy kind of guy-ish, just wrecking stuff. But we're in low-level area of the plains too. That's a thing. And we're not in the game's kind of like hard mode either. Or I'm pretty sure we're not. So, I have to pay attention. I don't even know if you can do that in the quest, so it don't matter. So you got your objective marker, which is improved from, you know, back in the day. I'll give you that. But it still had a lot of problems.
Ayo.
Nope.
This is it. This is where the
Oh, wow,
Grenier
is it?
found some
No,
of
it's not.
Uncle's work. Has he been hiding?
son.
And the greasy eels of Cetus, working together, my tusk soldiers
Okay.
will gore you all the same.
Defeat reinforcements. Okay.
Heck, I should have known you'd be behind the Grenier incursions here. Who else would feed outmatched troops to an Eidolon if it might further their career?
If you were wondering if this would go as easily, no, it would not.
And
But
I'd feed it 1,000,000 more for a chance to wrap my metal claws around your sweet,
okay,
putrid neck.
okay.
Scanning the area. I'm getting strange readings from the cave at my waypoint. Smash that drill and go inside.
I remember that cave. Onko and I used to shelter there. Rock slide sealed it off years ago. I hope he's not.
Uncle? Uncle!
Yeah.
He should be here. By the Unum, is that coffer his? It bears Uncle's mark. It must be important. If it's here and he is not, oh, please, Uncle. No.
Saya.
Kanung. I won't say a thing to him, Tenno. I'm guessing he didn't tell you. He was with my uncle the day he disappeared.
This coffer is strange. I don't understand the locking mechanism. Tenno, return to your orbiter so we can get it open.
Oh yeah, one of these rare times that it's gonna work this way. That's so cool. I wish you could do this more often. I wonder if I can we do that mid-broadcast? No. Maybe? Display chat. Okay. I don't know.
Let's activate your codex system to examine this Ostron container.
Okay.
The lock seems damaged. We'll have to force it open.
No, wait. Oh, Uncle was a genius, Utz. He's protected whatever is inside with a shutter lock. The key, molded from glass, has been broken. Forcing it would only destroy everything inside.
Sure, I'm probably
we need to rebuild the glass. If he
the
was
only one
dying,
watching.
he would have wanted this found. But he looked.
Because I had the stream open. That's
Uncle
hilarious.
is alive.
Okay.
A new
That's fine.
strategy then, Tenno. Sending codex scanners to your inbox. These will be essential in locating the Shatterlock pieces out there on the plains.
So, what it's asking you to do is to go and equip a device that I believe they've given you, which is a scanner. So you're going to go to gear, and you're going to make sure that you have this guy added to one of these slots. So you would have an empty slot, you just click and then add this from the inventory available. And then it becomes something that you can always pop up by just hitting, well, you get a different wheel in this location, but out in the field you get your gear wheel. And now we can go back to nav and move on to the next mission.
Saya, Krunameta, let me help. I was there. I might be able to.
Oh, you were there all right, Konzu. You both went out on the plains that day. But only you returned. You expect me to believe this had nothing to do with what happened in our early summers? When I rejected your iron flower, your proposal.
Iron flower? I can't hear this. You know I had nothing to do with his... I miss him too, Saya.
So, just kind of running along on the mission here. All of these things will be much more annoying hazards, especially the flying guys, with the weapons and mods that you'll likely be using at the time. But again, you know, it's all manageable, very manageable. Jeez. Sliding uphill.
Equip your codex scanner and search the area for the glass shards we need.
Nope. Whoa,
Excellent,
dude.
Tenno. There should be more in this area.
Okay. Where are they at? Yeah, so they've already made improvements in the sense they just basically show you where everything
You found
is,
another shard.
which was definitely not a convenience they gave
That's
before.
it. There's no more shards here.
You gotta go potty. take the doggy out in just a minute here. Just finish up this mission.
Grineer! Spread out! Crawl!
You will have been unlocking powers as you progress here, so just kind of pay attention to what you have.
The power to kill!
You can always go into the menu or the arsenal to read about them. Hey, that's not I'll get you in a second, buddy.
Grineer
Right.
air support incoming.
Oh, look what we have here!
Yeah.
More fertilizer for our Grineer gardens! Your worm-bloated corpse will blend nicely with the excrement on my crops!
Wow, heck.
I can't extract you until you've dealt with those reinforcements. We have everything we came for.
I got it.
Head to extraction.
It's all good. Alright. Gonna take the dog on a bathroom break. Be right back. Okay, I'm back. Let's see. Alright. Good stuff. No comments? Okay.
What was Vahek talking about back there? What power is he after?
Anko. He found the remains of the Unum's champion, a woman of glass. He studied her, obsessed about their ancient secrets. The Quills of Cetus swore us to secrecy, and the secret held until the Grineer captured one. Can't imagine what they did to get one of them to talk, but Vahek's been after that relic ever since.
Aye, oh, this Vahek. Could he have taken Uncle prisoner too? Do you think he'd make a trade? This coffer for my uncle? No. That would go against everything Uncle believed in. The sanctity of our people's home, of Cetus. Tenno, you'll need to find the remaining shards.
Yeah.
I've tracked some off-world shipments to a galleon in orbit. Heck may be guarding any key shards he's found up there.
So, that, by the way, is a galleon. In orbit. It's a Grineer ship. It's called a galleon. Sort of suggesting that it's probably got slaves on board. But they never went there. I think it would have been a good touch. But, oh well. Not that, depictions of slavery are nice or anything. Just that it would, again, show the villainy of the Grineer. Alright, board Hex Galleon. Is this his personal galleon? That seems crazy to me. But okay. The galleon's one of the earlier...
Something's wrong. My scans are being blocked. I can't detect any shards.
What does that mean? This galleon is huge. Think.
Hanko would have known what to do.
Each fragment responds to a unique harmonic. We discovered that during my initial work on Cetus's transceiver system. It's too bad we can't walk a wideband harmonic through the ship.
Who says we can't? I'll perform a broad frequency sweep.
Saya, that worked! Onko wasn't the only one with a sharp mind. We are elevated by your work, and his. Your marriage was a boon to Cetus.
It wasn't always easy. Cetus came first. Always. Things were missed. Special days. Anniversaries. But it was a duty. And a privilege.
So, the galleon.
Tenno! Tenno! Oh, is it my birth interval? Such a gift. But I have a surprise for you. You greasy metal maggot!
Thank you, Heck. So, the galleons are one of the older tile sets. I don't, again, remember when they were introduced, but they're definitely old. Not the oldest, but old. They constantly get little systemic updates and occasionally some direct updates, but so like the lighting system changes and some rendering techniques post stuff happens, but so I mean, like, overall the game still just like looks different than it did before, but generally speaking you're still kind of structurally talking about the same stuff in terms of the map. I was just noticing how many lights there are in the night side. Like, it just fascinates me that there's potentially that much population active on Earth. Seems strange to me. Anyway, let's do the mission. Okay. So this right here is a concentrated resource, so Rebuto, you just get a bunch of Rebuto resource off of it. An enemy I had not dealt with set off an alarm which locked down the area. So if I just go do the little mini game here, we're good. And then you use your Parazon to hack those. The little Robocopy Assassin's Creed blade thing. Okay. So I got a stealth kill bonus, so if I can keep that up, which I didn't, get affinity bonus, experience bonus for my kills while I have this bonus applied, which sticks even when they're aware. But they're kind of in an alert state, so it's going to be hard to get back into stealth kills. This is mostly something that applies to like the old days when the game, you didn't have as many mods, so the power levels available to you were lower. You spent a lot more time kind of like maybe ducking enemies by using these areas, or you were just trying to get to these resources, because also resource availability was not necessarily as great, or maybe you couldn't like last as long in the endlessly spawning missions like survival or defense to just kill enemies and get like continuous resource drops. So you would just go to these areas where there were a lot more loot to like capture. Something that I don't feel like is as prominent in terms of the game experience anymore, because there's just the ability to level up really quickly. There's just more powerful mods and weapons available early on. So that is kind of a thing I wanted to talk about. This game was, if not harder, there were certainly more challenges. I mean, there used to be a stamina system, like you literally couldn't just sprint forever. There literally used to be mods to mitigate that. There was a lot of different things. Again, like your overall power isn't as high. Having powers equipped was part of the modding system. So you literally couldn't have like other beneficial mods applied. Because you were too busy rocking your powers. But like also a lot of the, you know, dual stat mods or corrupted mods where you could get like, you know, greater levels of power modulation with a sort of give-take system. These things were not available. There weren't as many Warframes, so some of the Warframes that let you have more sort of meta combos with other Warframes, etc., weren't possible. They just hadn't arrived yet.
Surprise! Surprise!
So, you know, just these kinds of...
Gleaming maggots squirmed into my ship.
That was embarrassing.
Well, let's see you slip out of this one.
This is one of those Iatans, so when you find a sculpture, you
What?
socket those in and turn it in for a bunch of fusion for leveling up mods.
Puny maggot from squirming away.
I really sometimes kind of feel for Vahek in that he just can't get any good help. But also, you know, he's a terrible person and probably, you know, made this all happen with his terrible management, so I can't really feel bad for him. Vahek brought this on himself. That's my headcanon. Oop. Scan the guy.
Tenno,
I
we've
did it.
recovered all of the shards Vahek discovered. Get to extraction.
I feel like it was just one, but cool. Not quite. Oh. Which one is it? Is it that one? Yeah. Yeah, but I just can't explain how different. Like, you got a sense that your Warframes were weaker and more vulnerable and had a little bit more desperation going on. You were fewer in number, and this was, you know, just factually true. Less players. I don't know, what else? Having said that, though, I mean, you're still just an incredible killing machine. And so, you know, you manage. It's fine. You can get through it. Because, again, the enemies also, you know, weren't as strong. So, you know, that's a thing. Wasn't quite the amount of enemy variety necessarily yet. Bosses hadn't all been fully developed. So a lot of cases they were literally just slightly buff versions of regular enemies. I mean, just, yeah. A different time. But, things evolve and you get power creep. It's done a pretty good job of keeping it feel steady, though. But could maybe make the experiences early on feel a little awkward, and you get in this weird state where you got people wanting to join the new content that is maybe stacked. They put it like really early in the game, and people feel, you know, people who've gone through everything feel a little like upset. But at the same time, then you know, maybe they bring in a new player and they have to help this person get through everything. It's a weird state. DE did try to sort of address it by creating a new starting state with Deviri, and Deviri has a whole other way of sort of getting a lot of the gear, you know, mods and warframes and weapons and things. It's a good system and can get you things faster, most likely. But it's caused a lot of confusion, which I think is mostly what it broke down to, is just the confusion that was caused by it. I suppose it didn't solve the problem of getting to the late game content, because you still have to do those quests to unlock a lot of the later content. So I guess there's that too. Yeah. I mean, shields didn't used to work as well as they do now. I mean, that's a whole thing. I mean, shields literally used to just be tissue paper.
Another job well executed.
Yeah, just worthless. And now they're kind of amazing. So... let's see what they got us doing now. In terms of what you'll be doing, aside from these missions, unlocking nodes, and junctions, again, you're trying to acquire items to raise your mastery rank. This is kind of another unifying goal, and you'll be acquiring resources as you roll, get blueprints from the market, or as rewards, or possibly dropping for certain enemy types. So there's a lot of ways things become available. Yeah, good stuff.
There's only one piece left. Hex digging in the Central Plains. I recall Onko finding a few interesting artifacts in the region of...
That crater lake where we used to fish. That place where Onko's catch got eaten on the line by a...
Oh, that massive hookta. And we had to haul him out. We spent the whole day drying his notebooks. That was a good day. I think I know where we should look. Doha! While it is dark, the Grenier won't be there.
Okay. They're talking about fishing, which turns out is a whole big thing you can do.
I'll never know what happened to him. I don't even want to open that box now. It won't change a thing.
I wouldn't blame you if you turned back.
No. I need to know.
Evacuation flights have been rescinded. You'll stay out here all night, if that's what it takes. Find that piece before an Eidolon finds you!
Krunameta. The Eidolons are all that remains of the great sentient destroyed heap. At night, its spirit rises and haunts, a mindless beast trying to rebuild itself. Watch out. If you see one, don't fight it. You can only run.
And so it goes. I'm sorry, little friend.
Oh, I must have killed the creature. So, Kanzu literally just tells you that a big scary thing is going to show up, and that you should run from it. And again, this is streamer brain people just being like, oh, what's this? And then try to fight it. And, you know, sometimes they get a clue, and sometimes they don't. I don't know. It's fine. Streaming's hard. I'm not pretending that I'm any good at it. But, and especially if I was playing something blind.
Despite our best efforts.
Again, I must have killed a little furry creature. So sorry. What am I doing here?
The beast is drawn to the Grenier. Can you get to the excavation site?
Sure, of course I
It has
can.
to be in there.
I just barely cleared that. Going into a cave? Yeah, okay.
You have it! Onko's final piece to the shutter lock.
There's another way out of that cave. Away from the terrorist.
Tenno, I'm having Ordis pull you out. Get to the extraction point.
You think it would be that easy? Tusks! My tusks! New orders! Ignore the monster! Stop that Tenno maggot!
Get to extraction. Okay. Oh! Yeah, that's a spoiler. So normally you wouldn't be able to see the moon, and that's what that is. You would see a few rocks up there where the moon should be, but apparently streamer mode didn't omit that. That's okay. There's no way I can do this without spoiling something subtly. Whatever.
Konzo, you should know. You were the best friend he ever had. I'm ready. Open the box.
Sire, you kept my flower.
Oh, Onko. You always told me I should try following my heart instead of my head. Shola, I guess it's time I did.
Nice.
Daniel,
there we go.
Recently, I have been plagued by strange visions of the infestation. They're warnings from Kome herself. I'm sure of it. Kruna Meta. Come see me in Cetus. Together, we can overcome a terrible fate. Be well.
Nice. Okay. So this says Vigil, which introduces you to how to scan things, which has the value in that once you have scanned enemies, they will tell you their weaknesses, although there seems to be other ways to get this information now too. It's also kind of a collectible game that is ridiculous because there are billions of things in the game to scan and it's just too much, so I wouldn't worry about that anymore. But and then you literally, I don't think you get anything for doing it. So yeah, good stuff. This is a Warframe you can farm on Cetus, I think through bounties. Okay, so that was Size Vigil. That is one of the earliest quests that are available.
Orbis is picking up a distress signal. Wait, no. It's just the Corpus peddling their wares again.
Get off the emergency frequency!
Exactly. Alright. I'm going to end it right there. Come back at some point and do some more of these quests with commentary. Just, again, loose format. Talking about systems and just kind of waxing nostalgic about Warframe in general as the thoughts come to me. So this has been Milrocka PDX, and I am Tony, signing off.